Hello, welcome back to EPG. I'm, of course, Greg, your host. When I was traveling the world, I was able to experience a lot of cultural things when I was going from place to place, whether it was music, whether it was shows or stuff. But one of the most important that I did was experience different types of cuisine or food where I was going. And that really kind of brought something home to me that I figured out on my voyage. And it was that a lot of places that have been incredibly close to starving to death have the most exotic cuisine. So if you look at a place like France that has had its share of wars and famine and things like that, that's how we get veal, which is baby cow, because it would cost too much to raise a cow to its full age, or people would starve to death before then. You have frogs' legs, so frogs, they would be in ponds and stuff, and people would go scoop them up and then cook them and eat them. Escargot, which is snails. So it's really not that alien to think about things that one would eat when they're in these types of situations. And so I want to give you a couple examples of things that I have eaten on my voyage. If you recall from a previous video, when I was in Cambodia, I ate bugs. So you can watch that video and go through all the bugs that I've eaten. Tarantula, scorpion, all sorts of fun stuff. So that was Cambodia. So I ate a lot of stuff there. But going to another place, when I was in Korea, South Korea, mind you, they gave me a bunch of grubs in a little cup outside of one of the temples, which was very good. To be honest with you, they gave you a little toothpick, and you just pop them in there, and then you pop them in your mouth. It was boiling hot, so I actually burned my mouth on some of the liquid that was inside, which was not too fun. But yeah, those were grub worms. And again, no problem, just do what the Romans do. So another aspect, and this is where it starts to get a little bit more, I would say, outside of a lot of people's comfort zones, especially mine. Moving on, when I was down in Australia, in Melbourne, I went to the Victoria Market, where I actually was able to purchase about half a kilo of kangaroo, which I then took back to my hostel. I diced it up with a little butter and then cooked it and then ate it. It was delicious. And before anybody gets mad, and going for the rest of this video, for kangaroo in Australia, they're a lot like deer in the United States. The population gets up, and then they start running into places where they're not supposed to go, such as highways. They cause accidents. People get hurt. Some people die. So eating kangaroo is a lot like eating deer. Thins out the herd, and just kind of keeps it at an equilibrium. Moving on, I was down in Peru. I ate something called koi, which, as any, I guess, child in the United States would know, is guinea pig. The reason why that they eat guinea pig there is because it's a source of protein, and it's also very easy to kind of raise them and herd them in the highland homes there. And actually, when I was in Ecuador, I was able to go into a little kind of mock-up of what one of these huts or structures looks like, and they had a pen full of live guinea pigs running around. So basically, you reach in, and then you cook a guinea pig. So I actually had some when I was in Cusco, cuy al horno, so guinea pig from the oven. It was not the most appetizing thing. It was kind of, it had a lot of bones, a lot of little bones, and it really didn't seem like a lot of meat on there. So I imagined that people would need to eat like 3 or 4 to actually feel full. But yeah, so that's what they do there. There's a tourist section where they serve koi, which is very expensive. And then once you get out of the city, it kind of, have roadside stands that serve koi. But yeah, it was okay. Just gonna put it out there. It was okay. And that leads me to kind of the final place where I had very exotic cuisine. And that was in Iceland, when I was in Reykjavík. There was this one restaurant that was actually part of a tour that Anthony Bourdain went on when he was, in Iceland. So again, I'll, try to give you the notes of all the places that I went in order to, try these fairs. But anyway, so at this place, and again, as I'm going to say, this is completely legal. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't break any laws. I had fermented shark, which was... It was kind of interesting. It actually tasted like a very aromatic cheese, maybe like a brie. but that's served in little cubes at this restaurant. But also you can buy it in the supermarket in little tins or little plastic containers. So that was interesting. Tasted like a strong cheese. And then I had puffin. So again, cute puffins flying around, whatever. But to them, puffins are like little chickens that people eat, or quail, or pheasant in Iceland. So there are a whole lot of them that get birthed every year. There are a lot that are born, and then again, kind of like thinning out the herd to make sure that the majority of them survive. Some of them are served as a delicacy. And finally, this may make the PETA people very upset. I had whale when I was there, which is, again, a delicacy, completely legal. It was like soggy roast beef. Did not really enjoy it. Again, glad I had the experience of eating, this stuff all over the world. But I'm a steak guy. Kind of enjoy steak. But again, I was glad that I had the opportunity to experience culture in these very foreign lands. So, that being said, thank you very much for your time, and get out there.